It's every week seems like an exciting week. I don't know how to describe it. We're just under $10,000.
Episode 6. What are Bitcoin wallets?
Interested in Bitcoin?
Bitcoin is a very vague concept to a lot of people.
Need to know more about cryptocurrency?
We're going to talk about the basics. This is something that people just have no idea about what crypto is.
How about buying, selling, and mining?
Tony, I think that's one of the things that's going to make us a little different from some other shows.
We're getting our hands dirty.
Then listen to Gary Leland and Tony Sakala, better known as the Crypto Cousins, on the Crypto Cousins podcast.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome to the show. Gary Leland here.
And Tony Sakala here.
Hey, Tony. We got a pretty exciting week this week in Bitcoin and crypto.
It's every week seems like an exciting week.
This week's price.
Well, right now, since last week's show, Bitcoin today is $9,950.19. For the week, it's up $1,578.03. And that's an increase of 18.8%. 18.8% this week.
That's amazing. So if someone owned 10 Bitcoin, they would just have seen their portfolio go up almost $16,000 in the week.
Yeah. That's kind of mind-boggling to me.
Yes, it really is.
But I'm enjoying watching my wallet grow. I do know that.
Mm-hmm. That's the wonderful thing about being in the business.
Hey, how was your Thanksgiving?
Well, the usual. Overeating, relaxing, had a good time. Yeah, yours?
It was great. It's funny, I had we had a big Kathy's family, that's my wife, we all got together, and I had 3 people during the day on Saturday, we all met on Saturday, come up to me and asking me about Bitcoin. Wanting to know about Bitcoin. 2 of them were confused on mining. That still seems to be an issue that people have a hard time understanding, that you can just make Bitcoin. And they always go, you make this free money. I don't understand how you make this free money. I go, there's nothing free about it. I mean, it costs you money to make Bitcoin, to mine Bitcoin. It costs you big money to mine Bitcoin.
Exactly. Well, I think John McAfee says it costs about $1,000 to make 1 Bitcoin in energy and mining and electricity and resources.
Yeah, that's definitely a cost. And speaking of John McAfee, he will be on our show next week. We were supposed to interview him later today, but now that's been postponed till Friday, so we'll have him on next week's show. That should be an interesting show.
It's going to be a really interesting show. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk to John McAfee and see what kind of crypto wisdom he gives us. Hey, I saw something interesting on the news last night. I saw a couple of things on TV last night about Bitcoin. This was kind of crazy. I was watching a financial channel that I watch every week, and they reported that over the past week, an estimated 300,000 users signed up for Coinbase. Now, Coinbase, okay, listen to this. Coinbase has more users than Charles Schwab.
Wow.
Is that hard to believe? How long has Charles Schwab been around?
That's just incredible. So what does that say? It says that people interested in money, people interested in investing, people interested in taking responsibility for their own money outnumber the people who are willing to go with Charles Schwab.
Yeah, that's just crazy to me. They have more people.
It's amazing. Well, that is amazing. But we predicted it. I mean, I think we talked about it already. Thanksgiving weekend, many, many, many people had the same conversation about Coinbase with their family. Hey, where do you go? What do you do? And so someone said to them, sign up for Coinbase. I know I told my family the exact same advice. Of course, I told them to use our link.
Yes, I definitely told them to use our link, because if you use our link, you get $10 worth of free Bitcoin when you sign up, and we make $10 worth of free Bitcoin. So it's like supporting the show while you're making money.
Exactly.
It's a win-win.
It's a total win-win, and people will feel grateful for having gotten involved at this time. Everybody's very grateful for having gotten involved When did we start the show? Ooh, a couple weeks back, and Bitcoin was, what, half the value that it is today?
Yeah.
At least half.
But make sure you go to cryptocousins.com/Coinbase. I don't know if I even mentioned it. We told them we had a link. I don't know if we mentioned it. but go to cryptocousins.com/Coinbase. And if you sign up using that link, you make $10 worth of Bitcoin, and we make $10 worth of Bitcoin. We've had a good week on our $10 worth of Bitcoin there, Tony. So thanks to everybody who's used our link to sign up. We've had a very good week on Bitcoin commissions or referrals or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and everyone else has had a good week too. So anyone who signed up last week, now whatever Bitcoin they purchased, if they purchased $100 worth of Bitcoin, it's up 18.8%. It's amazing.
And it's amazing because I've been, you've probably seen in our Google Docs, Tony and I share some Google Docs for the show, and I put in the donations. I didn't start doing that, or the Coinbase payments. I didn't do that to begin with. I just started doing that like maybe a week ago. And it's amazing to see, the column that says dollars is always 10. But the column that says amount of Bitcoin they gave us to equal to $10, you can just see it being less and less and less and less and less and less that they give us. Because the value of Bitcoin is more and more and more and more and more. It's interesting to look at on that graph.
It is interesting. It mirrors the devaluation of the U.S. dollar.
Hey, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to everybody who's been subscribing and listening to our podcast on iTunes and Android, wherever you're listening at. I appreciate it. And I went in and looked at our stats, Tony, and you won't believe our international audience. I mean, we're like almost listened to in 100 countries.
You're kidding. 100 countries.
Well, now, I know you're going to have an easy time guessing the number one country. I made a list of the top 10.
Okay. Would that be U.S.?
Yes. Anyone's going to be able to guess that. But I want to see if you can guess any of the other ones in the top 10.
Well, I know we have a cousin in Australia.
That's number 2.
Oh, I did well.
And we've had a lot of people on the group from Australia, so I would have guessed number 2 also, even if I hadn't looked at it. So I would have guessed number 2.
I would say a lot of other English-speaking countries. What's another English-speaking country? The UK?
Number 3. You're pretty hot there, Tony.
I'm doing well. I'm doing pretty well. I may have a cheat sheet, actually.
And then we have, after the UK, we have Canada, Netherlands, Germany, Ireland, Singapore, Norway, and rounding out the top 10 is France. So, I mean, the top 10 aren't all English-speaking countries, though.
No, that's true. That's true. But they're all very awesome countries.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to visiting. Well, we'll do a trip someday.
We'll have to do a Crypto Cousin tour of Europe someday if we get enough donations, huh? So,
when we get enough. When we get it. I'm sure we're going to get it.
Well, that sounds good to me because I love going to Europe. But thank you, everybody, for listening. Hey, Tony, we can't, and something I'm really disturbed about, we can't get under and stay under or stay in the top 8 on iTunes under the search term Bitcoin.
Oh, we're getting close.
Yeah, and if we get under in the top 8, then we're seen on the apps when people use the iTunes app, and it'll really help us grow. So everybody who's listening to our show on Apple devices, we need you. We really need you to go to iTunes, subscribe to the show, give us a 5-star review and a comment. And to do that, go to cryptocousins.com/iTunes. We really need your help on this. Some people are helping us by donating to the show, but the way we really need help right now is for people to subscribe to the show, give us a 5-star review, and a positive comment to help us get in the top 8. That will really help us grow, Tony.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So if you've got friends, tell them. I'm sure you have friends.
I grab people's phones and do it. I grabbed my nephew's phone at during Thanksgiving and said, "Let me subscribe for you."
Yeah, do him a favor. Exactly. Well, and we did that at our meetup. We had a fun meetup a couple weeks ago, didn't we?
We did in Fort Worth. We had a nice little group, our first one.
Yeah.
That's going to be a regular thing, though, come soon.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should, matter of fact, while I'm thinking about it, Tony, I just thought of this. In around March the 1st, I'm going to be speaking or on 2 panels at Social Media Marketing World in San Diego. It's like the biggest social media conference in the world, I think, right now. And I think on Thursday night or Thursday evening at like 6:30 about doing a Crypto Cousins meetup in San Diego near the convention center. So if we have any cousins listening to this show who live near in San Diego and know of a place, a free place would be preferable, where everybody could come in and meet up and maybe grab a drink or a burger or a snack or anything for a couple of hours, and we could do a Crypto Cousins meetup. If anyone can help us with that, and when I say help us, I mean help us, not just say, hey, go to Joe's Grab Shack. Help us with it. I'd appreciate it. That would really be nice.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, that'd be rough. We can start doing those anytime we go somewhere in the country. Just doing a meetup there. Hey, I saw another thing. I was telling you I saw a couple things on TV, Tony.
You watch a lot of TV, Gary.
Huh?
You watch a lot of TV?
I watch a lot of TV.
No, I don't think so. You don't seem like the TV watching type.
I watch a lot of TV. I consume mass quantities of TV, but I'm on my computer working while the TV's on.
I'm sure you are working at the same time.
So I don't just sit there and stare at TV. Matter of fact, my news, I have 4 news channels going at the same time. And I can flip from one to the other according to what I see happening on there. I don't know, some setting you can get on TVs where you can pick a bunch of channels and watch at the same time.
So you got like a big war room looking at all the different monitors.
Well, it's one monitor, but it's got several channels on it at the same time. But I saw a commercial for a Bitcoin IRA. Have you seen these?
No, I don't watch TV.
Okay, but Ron Paul, a presidential candidate, he's run for president twice now.
Oh, yeah.
He was on there hawking Bitcoin IRAs, saying that basically he believes in Bitcoin. And if you want a fast return on your investment, buy the Bitcoin IRA. I had never seen a Bitcoin IRA.
Well, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, but then I got one more TV thing. This morning I was watching another business channel. And she had on, and I wasn't planning on talking about this, so I didn't make notes, somebody who has a fund going, and he has 2 funds going. This company has 2 funds going. And they were talking about one of his funds did 10% last year. And she was like, ooh, and he's going, yeah, most people would think that's pretty exciting. We made a profit of 10% this year. It was Dan Moorhead was his name. I took a picture of the screen from Pantera Capital. He's the founder and CEO of Pantera Capital. But besides his regular fund, which I don't know what it's based on, they opened a secondary fund, a Bitcoin fund, in 2013.
In 2013? Whoa. How did that one do?
It's up 17,000% this year. I mean, he goes, they had him on there for Bitcoin, or maybe it was 17,000 since the start, whatever it was amazing numbers. But they had him on there for Bitcoin. He goes, hey, my other fund's not a slouch.
Right.
But no one's paying attention to our other fund because this Bitcoin is doing so good. But it's a mutual fund. And like I said, I don't know the scoop on it, but if anyone's interested in finding out more about that, it was Pantera Capital is the name of his company. And he had 2 funds, but it was they were just like falling down, and someone brought up the tulip bubble and the dot-com bubble.
Wherever you talk with folks. Yeah, in the financial sector, it's the conversation quickly turns to the bubbles and the fear, and you look like a crazy propeller head, and
propeller head.
Because it was a very geeky thing to begin with. I mean, you had to have a computer that could do the command line. You had to be able to compile your own code in the early days. You had to do things that now seem really quaint and crazy, because you can go to a website like NiceHash, and it'll calculate how fast your computer is and figure out if you could do some mining right on your own computer with NiceHash.
And that only works. I found out it only works on PCs. I was trying to set up a Mac, and that worked on Macs.
Yeah, there are very few programs for Mac because Unfortunately, Mac is not an open system, so you can't just pop in a graphics card to a Mac unless you had a really old-style Mac Pro. So there aren't writing software for Macs. As you and I know, you can do some mining with a web miner on your browser, but the results are pretty weak.
Yeah. But it's amazing how much I'm starting to see Bitcoin on the financial channels now. Because I watch a lot of financial news, and that's what I'm seeing. Almost every time I'm watching something now, they have, especially with hitting 10,000, they have a segment on.
Oh, yeah.
And both of these two guys, which are not, well, I saw another guy last night I'm not going to get into that bought like $1.5 million worth of Bitcoin when it dropped a few weeks ago. So I'm not even going to get into him. But that guy last night I saw, the guy this morning I saw, a completely different guy. They both predicted that it could be $40,000 a coin within 2 years, which is low compared to other predictions. But I'm bringing up that number because that's a conservative number possibly. And, that's not shabby either. But I do want to say we're not financial advisors, so don't pay any attention to anything we say. We're just giving our opinions and just talking about something we find super interesting, but we're not by any means financial advisors.
Yes. I don't even watch the financial channels. I mean, I'm really excited about the technology, about mining, about off-chain transactions, and it's really something that is new to the field of it's new to the world, how people can transact off of a central system and be able to send money anywhere in the world for very little fees. It's amazing to me how quickly it's been adopted now by, I think we talked about mainstream adoption coming up in a year or two, but I think with the numbers going so quickly, we're going to see it within a year, moving to the next phase from crazy people to early adopters.
Crazy people to early adopters. Speaking of, I'm going to stay on my same TV mode again, Tony, for one more thing. Because that's my mode today. I'm stuck in the TV world at the moment here. Last week, we announced on the show that coming up, I think it's this Thursday, is a TV show that I can't even think of the name of right now. Coming on, a comedy show with some geeks on it. You know what that show is?
Oh, yeah. That's it's the physics show. What is it called? The Big Bang Theory.
Thank you. Gosh, I can't believe I went blank. Anyway, we announced that last week on our show, that was coming up. I have seen nothing but that on YouTube, on Facebook posts all week since we announced it. I know we weren't the first one to announce this, but now it's everywhere. So I wanted to make sure and remind everybody, if you are like me and you do watch any TV, you may want to set your DVR for Thursday night's Big Bang show. It sounds like it's going to be a funny show. They evidently had mined. So I heard a clip from it. They had mined some. Someone said, "Wow, Bitcoin's $5,000 or $5,500," and the other guy goes, "Didn't we mine a bunch of that a couple years ago?" And then they start trying to find it, and one thing leads to another. So if you want to see that Bitcoin on mainstream TV, that should be on the Big Bang Theory, and that'll be the end of my TV shows.
Okay, good.
Since you're not a TV lover, so
I love watching YouTube.
Well, that's like TV.
Yeah, it is. It's people tube. It's not.
So when I'm sitting back on my couch and I turn my TV to the YouTube channel, am I not watching TV anymore?
You're not watching TV anymore. You're watching the people's tube. You're watching people broadcast whatever they want before the YouTube censors get at it. But yeah, I like to distinguish that because it's coming through a filter. You're coming through the big six media companies when you watch TV.
Okay. Well, I think it's just a matter of knowing what to select as truth and questionable, which I think a lot of people have a hard time with.
Yes.
But let's get off the TV kick because I probably talked too much about TV. Okay, I don't know if our audience is big TV lovers, but I do get a lot of information there. And that makes it time for...
It's time for Crypto Cousins News.
Okay, Tony, what have you got for us this week?
Well, on the same topic of Bitcoins on a laptop and finding your Bitcoins and losing your Bitcoins. I think one of the most incredible statistics, and you mentioned it to me earlier this week, was that someone has done a study of the blockchain because it's readily available. You can see every address and every transaction since Satoshi's very first creation of the very first block on the blockchain. And a company called Chain Analysis has determined that nearly 4 million Bitcoins have been lost forever.
Well, that kind of goes with what I had been hearing. I had been hearing possibly 5. So 4, 5, whatever. That's a high percentage of Bitcoins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I mean, what happens is that people have either stopped using their wallet, like they just forgot about it, or they lost their private keys, or maybe even somebody had the Bitcoin and then they passed away and then their family didn't know the private keys. So it brings up a lot of...
The family might not even have known they had Bitcoin on the computer.
And exactly.
Could you imagine if you bought a computer at a garage sale and you found a wallet on there for $5 million worth of Bitcoin in there?
Mm-hmm. It's possible in the future that people will find these old laptops and find Bitcoin.
Maybe I need to start buying old computers at garage sales.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
So 4 million
Bitcoins lost forever, yeah.
And it's only going to be 21 million.
It's only going to be 21 million. So that's really like 20% of the existing Bitcoins. So they're just lost, and you can't get them back. The crazy thing about Bitcoin is you can try to guess someone's private key, but the universe of numbers is so vast that there's more atoms. There's just about as many Bitcoin wallets as there are atoms in the universe.
You mean Bitcoin wallet addresses?
Addresses. I say wallets. Yes, addresses. And so the addresses they're numbered in the 2 to the 160th power, which comes out to about 10 to the 77th power of atoms. So it's roughly the same order of magnitude. So you just can't guess. I mean, it's just impossible to guess. The number is so large that you'll be guessing for longer than the age of the known universe.
Well, I'm not going to try. I'm going to take your word for it. So
that's important to know. Stay on top of your Bitcoins. Don't lose your private keys. And we're going to be talking more about wallets.
So people, on TV, let's see, I'll go back to TV. So people are always saying there's only 21 million Bitcoin ever going to be made, 21 million ever going to be, there's never going to be any more. But really, for all sense and purposes, there's only 17 million Bitcoin.
Already.
That
will ever be made because if we've lost the 4.
More will be made, but that'll ever be able to be used, the 17 million.
Ever be able to be in circulation.
So there'll actually be, that's a 20%, just doing it in my head. I'm not saying that's exactly right. I'm just saying in my head saying that's roughly, almost
20%. We've lost 20% already, so you can imagine the next we'll probably lose the same.
Hey, what did you tell me the other day that every day there are 1,800 Bitcoin mined?
Exactly. There are 1,800 Bitcoin mined. Every 10 minutes, 12.5 Bitcoin are rewarded to the miners that have been doing the work to confirm the transactions on the network. So it's a great system.
And every so often, on regular time scales, that cuts in half.
Yeah, roughly every 4 years, that cuts in half. So in the early days, you could mine Bitcoin with a laptop and make 50 Bitcoin if you can get your mind around that.
So that just went to 12.5 not that long ago, right?
Not that long ago. It was the summer of 2016.
So in 2020, that'll drop to 6
and a quarter.
Okay. I just had those questions in my head there. I know it has nothing to do with the show, but I had questions, and I think other people might say, hey, yeah, I didn't know that information. But also, I wanted to cover a thing today about Apple and going back to Coinbase. I had put this in there before I saw the Coinbase thing about how much they had grown. But the Coinbase app in the App Store has registered more than 1 million new users per month during the latter half of this year. And it is
that the number one trending app?
Yeah, I was going to say, it's the number one trending. Is now the top trending search in the App Store. So it's the top trending search in the App Store, and they've been registering more than 1 million new users per month for the latter half of the year. So I know we kind of talked about that already, but that's amazing still.
No, it is amazing. It's amazing. Well, because it's the on-ramp. It's where people can just go and feel comfortable. If you tell someone, here's some Bitcoin, you go to a Bitcoin ATM or you get an open dime stick and it's a USB stick that has some numbers on it and someone gives you Bitcoin and it's sitting there on the blockchain, it doesn't feel as real as if you can log into an account and know that there are, customer support agents that will help you if there's a problem on Coinbase. And, it feels more like a bank. Now, I'm not saying it's, the way of the future. I'm saying it's a crossover point. It's a bridge from the past to the future. And that's what happens in all industries. We use the previous model of technology. When you started the computer, the first thing we did is we made a desktop metaphor. So it looked like your desktop. You had your Rolodex, you had your files, and you had files and folders. And so we're starting with Bitcoin with accounts. And it looks like a bank account. It's just crypto.
So that's pretty cool there. Hey, also, kind of getting out of the news and just moving on because we're probably need to move a little faster. We've gone really slow. There's no way we're going to make our half an hour on this show. But I want to we opened up a Patreon account. I just did it last week to see what would happen. Mm-hmm. It's at cryptocousins.com/Patreon, Patreon. And we've had some people that said, hey, I like what you're doing and I want to support your efforts. So I wanted to thank them. Joe Hagan and Jeff Rutowski, both are backers now on our Patreon project. And then Eric, I'm going to go for this one, Pfaffenbach. I'm hoping I'm getting the name right. He not only is he a third cousin on our Patreon, which means he's donating $5 a month. He sent me some coins. That are wallets. They're Bitcoins that are wallets, and they're really cool. So if you want to see those, check out his website, cryptopods.com. They're really cool wallets. I showed them to you Sunday.
Yeah, they're gorgeous little coins.
Yeah, I want to thank him for being a sponsor of the show and for the coins. That was really pretty cool of him to send. That was really cool. So thanks, Eric. And like I said, if you want to look at our Patreon page, go to cryptocousins.com/Patreon, or you can just go to cryptocousins.com/donate, whichever one's easier for you to remember, and that'll have a link to you. And I also want to say we could use some more help on our Facebook group. If anyone wants to jump in, we're hunting for moderators and people also to help spread the word about our Facebook group, to help us grow it and get new members. I want to welcome our newest moderator from Canberra, Australia, Steve Berg. Thanks, Steve, for joining the family.
Hello, Steve. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, those Australians, that's the second biggest group there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think Australians, at least this is my viewpoint, is that they have sort of a libertarian kind of against the system kind of a viewpoint. And they want to do things their own way. Their ancestors, went off to this new land, and I think that's similar to how our ancestors were when they came to America. America is this land of opportunity, and you have to be kind of a pioneering spirit. I think each of us who have ancestors here really have this pioneering spirit in our DNA.
I would have to agree, and maybe that's more down there since they were more, we did a lot of pioneering here a long time ago, too, in the U.S., I guess. I guess everybody did pioneer at some point.
Before we became fat and lazy.
Yeah.
And watched TV all weekend.
Hey, we got a nice email message this week from Kieran Bell. Kieran Bell, I guess.
Kieran Bell, yeah.
He says, hi, listener of your podcast from New Zealand. Well, hey, New Zealand. How's the Kiwi? Isn't that from New Zealand?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and keen into crypto mining. Wondering if you'd ship one of your mining machines to New Zealand, or perhaps you can recommend a way I could get into mining with product closer to home? Thanks. Well, thanks for sending in the email. We love to get questions. And in case you don't know, we have a store on our page at cryptocousins.com, and we sell mining machines. But Tony, I'm going to let you take this question about shipping machines to New Zealand and how he can get into mining with products closer to home.
Yeah, well, we are, in fact, we have machines in the pipeline right now, and we're testing a machine for a customer on the East Coast, and we're going to ship within the U.S. Because we know exactly, how that works, and we know the costs. And if someone wants to get a machine internationally, you can send us an email, and we can talk about it. But there are more hurdles to jump through on that one. The machine is really stable and wonderful. It's not an open rig. If you've seen our site, they're beautiful machines within cubicle PC cases. So everything's inside with great ventilation. But our big challenge is to be sure that we pack and ship the machines so that they can withstand being thrown around on the back of a truck, and when they get to your location, that they're in operating condition.
But basically, we're not ready to ship anything international for anyone who's curious.
That's the long answer.
Yeah, because we can get a lot of these coming from people, and that's something we're not ready for yet.
We're not really ready, but we're going to open up more conversations about how to start mining, and you can do it in many different ways.
And then we have a voice message. And this voice message didn't leave their name. So, hey, when you send us a voice message, leave your name. Let's play this one, Tony.
Hey, guys, I'm really enjoying your podcast. This is one of my first weeks, and I'm absorbing information at hours and hours a day, and you're a big part of that. My question is, when miners mine Bitcoin, and every 10 minutes or so, 12 coins are mined, is that one lucky miner that hits the jackpot and gets those 12 coins, or can multiple miners get one coin each or even fractions of the coin? Thank you so much. I hope to hear myself on your awesome podcast.
Okay, so what's the answer to this, Tony?
Well, that is funny because we talked about mining and we talked about the reward. And it turns out that in the old days, one person would get the whole reward because there was a lot of solo mining back in the old days. That's all there was. There weren't mining pools. Today, most everyone mines in a mining pool, even the biggest miners. And so every individual miner contributes some answer. And one lucky miner will actually get the reward, but generally then that is split amongst the thousands of miners that were in that particular pool. So everyone gets a fraction of a Bitcoin. You can get up to 1/100th of a Bitcoin. Did I say 100? 100 millionth of a Bitcoin is the smallest denomination, and that's called a Satoshi.
Okay. So I hope that answers your question there. And then in that case, I guess we should go on to today's topic and try to get into this because this is, like I said, we're going for a record-breaking show.
Yeah, our shows get longer and longer. It's kind of like the Bitcoin price going up. Our show gets longer.
Yeah, someday it's maybe 3 hours, hopefully not.
Yeah.
And today's show is, what is a crypto wallet? What is a crypto wallet? And I got a little definition I made here for you. Let's see how you like this. Basically, a wallet's like a software program, and it stores your private and public keys and interacts with the Bitcoin blockchain, and it's what enables users to send and receive digital currency, see your balance, and basically, if you use Bitcoin or any kind of cryptocurrency, you have to have a digital wallet to spend or receive that money. Is that pretty much it, Tony?
That's a great definition. That's very clear. So you have a wallet that has both your public and your private key. Your public key is the address that people send Bitcoin to you. And we've got several of our public keys on our website. You can see where you can donate. And that address, like an email address, is a place to send the Bitcoin. And that's where the public ledger shows what each wallet has in terms of how much Bitcoin.
And then you have several kinds of wallets. I guess we could go over a couple of these wallets real quick, or the different types, and name a couple in each line. You have like online wallets, like Coinbase, Kraken, Bittrex. Most exchanges have a wallet, which is an online wallet.
Yes, we have accounts at all of those places. And I like trying out all the different places to see, what's offered. Coinbase is the on-ramp, but it only has 3 coins. It's got Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin. So if you want to buy some Zcash, or you want to do some exchanging and take some Bitcoin and turn it into Zcash, or vice versa, can't do it there. You have to go to...
Yeah, you have to use another one, right?
Yeah, you have to go to Bittrex.
Okay. Now, basically, the online wallets, they run on the cloud, and you can access them from anywhere.
They're out there. They're out there, and they're exposed to the to the world, and that's the challenge of an online.
They're storing your
wallet.
online keys, your keys online.
And we know what could happen. It's happened before. And online exchanges are a big honeypot for hackers to say, hey, if I can get in here, I can get hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars. And, that's what happened at Mt. Gox.
Okay.
It was hacked and people lost their Bitcoin.
Because it was online. Now, so that's probably the least safe of all the wallets. Then you have mobile wallets. Which is what you'd be using on your phone, like Jax. I use Jax, and we use Copay. And there's Exodus. I'm not familiar with Exodus, but those are mobile wallets you can use on a phone or an iPad or an Android tablet or whatever. And what about those?
Exodus is a software wallet. I use it on my Mac, and it's got a beautiful interface. It's got a really beautiful interface, and you can exchange right within the wallet from Bitcoin to Litecoin to Ethereum. You can do it right there. It's kind of like a jack of all trades wallet. It's really wonderful.
And they can be used basically from anywhere, like an online wallet can. But basically, I guess because they're mobile apps, they're much smaller and simpler layout than a desktop wallet would be.
Yeah. In fact, I think that our second category, online wallets and mobile wallets, really incorporates software wallets, because something like Jax is running on a PC, on a Mac, and on your phone.
Right. But it's still, even when you download it on your, at least when it's on your Mac, you're still downloading like an app, a computer app.
Exactly. Yeah, it's exactly a software wallet.
Yeah. So it's really, more on your computer. Are they...
Yeah, you have the keys. You have the private keys when you're running the software, and that's the difference. So, someone would have to hack your computer to get your private keys and access your Bitcoin
instead of hacking Coinbase or Kraken.
Instead of going on. Exactly. Well, and as we'll hear from John McAfee, he believes that most laptops and phones are already hacked.
Yes.
So that's a whole nother conversation.
That's a whole nother conversation for sure. But that is something to be worried about. Well, I guess the one that I use and you use are hardware wallets, which are the third category, like the Trezor, which I use, the Trezor, the Ledger you use, and the Open Dime, which we sell on Cryptocousins.com in the store. Those are hardware wallets, and they differ because they store your private keys in a device that would be plugged in like through a USB device.
Yeah, so the operating system for a Trezor or a Ledger operates off of your laptop. All the calculations, the private keys are stored on the hardware device. And so someone would have to go into your house or go into your pocket, pull out your hardware wallet, and hack it, directly to access your private keys. The connection between your hardware wallet and your computer, the USB connection, is secure. That's not where the action takes place. The signing, when you sign a transaction and say you're sending money, that happens on the actual hardware wallet.
And then the fourth is the simplest setup at all, and maybe these were the first kind of wallets, I'm not sure, but paper wallets. And if you wanted to see or make a paper wallet, you go to a website like bitaddress.org.
Yeah, the paper wallets are really cool because they're beautiful. I mean, you can go and print out a paper wallet that looks, really like currency. I think you saw a couple at a conference you were at in Austin, didn't you? See some beautiful paper wallets?
Hey, they were like artwork.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the other way to print out or have a paper wallet is like the coin that our third cousin Eric has on CryptoPods.com. It's a printout of the private key, but it's hidden underneath foil. It's very ingenious. So check out CryptoPods.com and check out what Eric's got. It's pretty cool.
That's probably the least expensive way to privately hold your keys, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just download some web pages and turn your computer off from the internet and
download the file. You download
offline.
The file, basically.
Mm-hmm. You download the file and you generate your keys offline. And the way you can do that is because the software that runs and creates Bitcoin wallets can run without referring to the original blockchain. The mathematics are such that you can go ahead and create a wallet and know with pretty much certainty that your wallet's not going to be the same number as another wallet that's already out there, because as we said, the number of possible wallet addresses is more than the number of atoms in the universe.
And then you just print that off and, I guess, make two copies that are both in same safe places.
Put them in a safe, exactly. Give them to a loved one. Put them in your will, or with all your safe documents. So that people can access it, and you don't have that concern.
Well,
you've locked it up.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on your turn. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You don't have that concern that you've locked up your Bitcoin, because if you don't have the private key, then you can't spend the Bitcoin, and you really don't have it. So the private key is the most important thing regarding all of cryptocurrency.
Well, if you don't have the private key, you don't own your money.
Exactly.
I think it's more important now. We kind of like, those are different types of wallets and a couple of examples of each. But I think maybe we need to go even get a little more basic for people and describe this a little more. And I've been trying to come up with this explanation and get clear on giving it to people. And I told you about it the other day. But a wallet has a lot of similarities to me with email. Mm-hmm. You have email, which you have an email address, let's say, like where I'm Gary Leland at Gmail. But that email address doesn't do me that much good unless I have some software that I can use to send emails to people and receive emails with. Without the software, like Gmail or Hotmail or something, without that software, I can't really do much with my email address. And then I also have a password for my email that only I have. So I give out my email address to people. I want everybody I don't want everybody. I don't want spammers, but basically I'm freely giving out my email address, but I'm keeping my password a secret. That'd be a bad thing if people got my password, because then they could send emails and say they're me.
Oh, yes, exactly.
Now, Bitcoin wallets are similar to that in the fact that you have a public address that you give to people. Mm-hmm. And you say, hey, here's where you can send me Bitcoin. Because you got this Bitcoin stuff, but without the software, you can't send or receive Bitcoin, just like I can't receive or send email. I mean, I'm sure there's a geeky way to do it, but the average person can't do it at all. So without the wallet, and I really have no way to use my Bitcoin. So with my wallet, I have a public address, which I give everybody, just like I give my email address to everybody. I want them to send me Bitcoin. I want them to send me email. But I have a private key, which, like in my password in the email, I never give out that private key. Because that's my password. And it would be bad for people to have my password for my email. It would be bad for people to have my private key for my wallet. That would be worse than having my password for my email, because they could take all my money.
Yes. As soon as your private key gets out, you can be pretty certain that your account's going to be drained.
So that's
all
the way I kind of like try to explain a wallet to people, because everybody understands email and how that works. Email password, email address, the email software. Well, it's the same thing. Public key is your email address comparison, or your public address. Your private key is your password comparison. And your wallet is like your email software. And that's what we're basically talking about here when we're talking about wallets. And Tony, I have heard stories of people interfacing with someone online, and they said, "Hey, I can help you with that. Give me your private keys real quick." And they go, "Okay." And they just give them their private keys. Believe me, if anyone's asking you for their private keys, if anyone asks you for your private keys for your wallet, they aren't your friend. They aren't trying to help you. They aren't wanting to do anything good. No one reputable is going to ask you for that.
Yes, no one reputable is going to ask you for that. Yeah, there was a website online where it was, "Oh, I'll help you. We'll help you if you lost your Bitcoin, and just give us all the information, and we'll help you get into the wallet." And I don't care who it is. You just can't. I mean, you can't possibly trust that someone's going to do the right thing there.
No company is going to ask you for that that's legit, because they know that you should be smart enough not to do that, and they just aren't going to take that chance of being responsible if something does happen to your money if they're a responsible company. So how do you like my explanation there for the wallets?
I think it's a great analogy, because everybody has email, and everybody knows about their public email address, and everybody knows about their private email passwords. So that's a great analogy, Gary.
Well, thank you. I've been working on it. I've had a hard time getting that. I've had my head wrapped around it, but I've had a hard time getting it into an explainable form, and I don't know if I did a great job of explaining that. But basically, it's just what would you do with your email address is what you would do with your wallet. You wouldn't give out your email password. You're not going to give out your private key.
Exactly.
You would give out your address. You would give out your address, So I hope that helps people understand what the purpose of a wallet is. Because you can't spend any money without your wallet.
Yeah, well, no, and the choices are growing every day. Ledger has the Nano S, and they just came out with Ledger Blue, which I saw an online review of it. And it has a big screen, and you're able to run little apps that help you to download not only Bitcoin, but Litecoin, Ethereum. So you have multiple coins on the Ledger Blue. And I think that this is just the beginning. We're going to see, just like in the real world, where there's hundreds of leather wallets and hundreds of different types of email providers. You've got your Hotmail, you've got your Apple Mail, you've got your Outlook, you've got your Microsoft Exchange. We're going to see an explosion of different types of wallets. And so that's why we created worldwidewallets.com.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll be working on that to help showcase what different wallet options are available.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. Worldwidewallets.com. That's a new site of ours, and it's basically just a listing of wallets for people. Some of them may be affiliate links, some of them won't be. But we're just going to put, if we can get an affiliate link, it'll be one. But we're just going to put links to wallets on there, and you can do your shopping. Hey, Tony, also, while we're talking about wallets, I think for most people, I know it's true for me, and I think it's probably true for you, if you had your Bitcoin Gold, or if you had your Bitcoin on your wallet when Bitcoin Gold forked off, basically every piece of Bitcoin you received a free piece of Bitcoin Gold. Mm-hmm. And now most wallets accept them. I downloaded mine the other day into my Treasure. Treasure has been updated. The Treasure, I don't know how to pronounce it. I know what it is, but it's been updated so that I can collect my Bitcoin Gold, which I did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, every time Bitcoin is forked, you have Bcash and you have Bitcoin Gold and you have other types of forks that take place. What they are excited about is this airdropping. So it's called an airdrop when you get now the same number of new coins as the number of Bitcoin that you originally had. And so people are excited about that. They want to get more for free. And the success or failure of these different forks, really depends on the motivations and the purpose of the fork to begin with. Bitcoin Gold the appearance of Bitcoin Gold was that the average person can now mine Bitcoin again with a GPU. So we were excited about that because we have lots of GPUs in our miners. And so someone could switch over and mine Bitcoin Gold with the Ethan miner or any GPU that they had. So it's exciting and interesting, but these new projects sometimes don't last. So I'm not quite sure of the future of Bitcoin Gold.
Well, whatever the future is, I'm just stating that it's time to go get it if you want to get it offline and put it in your wallet. Like with the Trezor, I had to do an update on the Trezor. I plugged it in, had to do an update, and bam, I went and got my gold. So it was pretty easy.
Fantastic. So it's 1 for 1. So whatever Bitcoin you had in your wallet on the day they forked, which was someday in October, I think it was the 24th of October, then that's the amount of Bitcoin Gold that you have.
And go get that. So anything else you can think of? Oh, I know what else we need to tell people. Make sure and update your software on your wallets occasionally. If you have a wallet, because they come up to keep your software up to date. It's just like keeping your software on your computer up to date. They come out with security enhancements, on a regular available. So you really need to, if you have a hard wallet or an offline wallet, or you need to plug it in that USB every once in a while because it needs to be updated because it does.
That's good advice.
Well, thank you. Anything else you want to say about the subjects of wallets? I think
that we covered the basics, and we'll be covering more details in the future. So I think that's it.
Yeah, like I said, you'll be able to check out worldwidewallets.com and see a listing of them there. We started it. We got some refining to do on that site. And I also want to make sure everybody knows that everything we talked about today will be in our show notes. All the links and everything we talked about in our show notes at cryptocousins.com. So if you heard us talk about a story, that you want to read some more about, just go there. And in case anyone wants to, our Facebook group is at cryptocousins.com/Facebook group. Wanted to give out a couple of addresses there. Anything else you want to talk about? Because I know we're way over time on this.
We haven't given our phone number. I love to talk about our phone number.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't even think about that.
If you want to give us a message, it's a voicemail, and you can leave us a message so that we'll answer your questions at 747-777-9471.
We need some cousin that's musically enhanced to make us a little 74777 song on.
Yes, we need a jingle. We definitely need
that would be a nice jingle number for that with all those sevens. I like it what you said last week. You'll be lucky just for calling that number with all those sevens.
Oh, yeah.
Makes you luckier just calling that.
It does.
Well, Tony, I think we've covered a lot of info on this, and I hope everybody enjoyed our long version of the Crypto Cousins podcast. This week, like I said, later this week, we're supposed to interview John McAfee, and he should be, if everything goes as planned, he should be our guest on next Tuesday's show. So I hope everybody's had a great thing. Anything else you want to leave everybody with, Tony, before we get out of here?
Nope. I think we've done it.
We've done it then.
Yes.
Okay. Well, in that case, adios, muchachos.
So long. See you next week.
Bye, everyone.
The Crypto Cousins podcast and information in the podcast are not intended as investment advice. Cryptocurrencies are risky. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. Always seek professional advice before making any investment. Investing in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies may present tremendous risks. Please understand that you are using any and all information available on or through the Crypto Cousins podcast at your own risk.